Good evening, and thanks for tuning in this Thursday evening. I'm your host, Natalie Heinitz, and this is Nat's News. Tonight, we'll break down a few of today's top stories. Our first story has a patriotic ring as the 2016 presidential elections are beginning to heat up. Simply put, Hillary Clinton is on the verge of making history. Just a few days ago, she announced that she is seeking the Democratic nomination for the 2016 presidential election. After losing the bid to Barack Obama in 2008, she has not only returned as a frontrunner, but also as the first woman to actually stand a chance at winning the whole thing. Today, I sat down with Dr. Winsome Downey of Manhattan College to discuss Hillary's presidential trajectory. What will it take for her to win, and what will be the implications if she is indeed this country's first woman president?
While women want her to run and women want to see the first woman elected president of the United States, they're not just going to vote for her because she's female. She's going to have to articulate a platform that speaks to their concerns and their issues. The most important, I would say, is the issue of income inequality.
With women still only making 78 cents to the dollar, Hillary will need to address this issue in order to win, according to Dr. Downey. For student Luke Hartman, Hillary's new campaign strategy is the key to her success.
So I think in order for Hillary Clinton to take office, I think she has to continue doing what she's doing in terms of her campaign. Like, she's already started with a campaign focused on people. And she's made it very clear that it's her mission that she wants to make this presidency about, or make this campaign about bringing it back to the American people and not so much a money-grabbing scheme.
She's running a campaign this year, I think, that is very reminiscent of her campaign for the Senate, when she ran for the Senate from New York. For a year at least, she just listened. She did this very low-keyed tour around the state, listening to all kinds of people. She stayed in people's homes overnight. She met with groups of students, really reached out, and I think that's what she's going to be doing for at least perhaps the first couple of months now.
Hillary also announced that her campaign offices will be headquartered in Brooklyn, in a quaint area that is not only very accessible to downtown Manhattan, but also to a street bearing her name. The decision has local residents curious to check out the space.
I heard on the news that Hillary was starting her campaign office on Pierpont, at one Pierpont, and so I went out jogging because it's a block from my house. People are kind of excited. My hairdresser was talking about it.
For a lot of women, they're ready for Hillary because it's just as high time that the United States, which is a leader in so many other arenas, it's just high time for the United States to elect a woman president. So we're waiting for our Madame President.
So far, Hillary has one lone competitor for the Democratic nomination, former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee. The question is, who will declare next? Stay tuned next week for more insight on the nearing presidential election. In entertainment news, popular television drama Homeland will be experiencing some major changes in its upcoming season, stirring reactions from all kinds of viewers. The show, which follows the escapades of CIA intelligence officer Carrie Mathison, will take a 2.5-year jump forward. Moreover, Carrie will no longer be working in the CIA. Turns out, it's the real CIA who is most happy about this decision. On April 6th, the CIA tweeted, "Good riddance, Carrie Mathison," and linked an opinion piece by New York Times journalist Maureen Dowd. The article features the opinions of real female CIA officers who claim that the show over-sexualizes women in their field, whose actual job it is to protect our homeland. Gina Bennett, a 25-year analyst in the Counterterrorism Center, states in Dowd's article, "It can leave a very distinct understanding of women at the agency, how we function, how we relate to men, how we engage in national security, that is pretty off." Criticism about the way women are portrayed in media is not too uncommon. Some argue that while creating shows with strong female leads is a step forward, the way in which they are characterized may take the industry a few steps backwards. What do you think about the decision for Homeland's upcoming season? Tweet us at Nats News with your thoughts. And finally, is it time to say goodbye to good old Andrew Jackson? The $20 bill may have a new female face within the next few years. Today, I asked a few Manhattan College students their thoughts about the movement to put a woman on the $20 bill. The grassroots campaign Women on 20s is determined to make the change by 2020 to commemorate 100 years of women's suffrage.
It definitely means a lot because currency is something that's used every day, countless times a day. To take that kind of ubiquitous place in culture and society, it's usually becoming like a standard item. Like people use dead presidents, they refer to the presidents by name, they're talking about money, so clearly it means a lot, and putting a woman on there says a lot about the place of equality in society and what that means today.
The group has narrowed down their top choices to these influential women: Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Eleanor Roosevelt, and Cherokee Chief Wilma Mankiller. So who should take the coveted spot?
Harriet Tubman would be a great choice. I think, first of all, she was a female, but she was a really strong leader during the era of slavery. And especially now in the U.S., we're talking more and more about race. It's becoming more of a topic that's willing to be discussed. And I think that having her on currency would be a great way to kind of bring that part of the U.S. today kind of to the forefront and encourage those discussions about what race means.
Changing it to someone like Rosa Parks would be really good, to be like a constant reminder, because she's such a key figure in the civil rights movement of like the 60s, and I don't know, that's so prevalent right now to what's going on in America, and I think it would be a good reminder to everyone.
I think that it should happen, and it will happen over time. Maybe not by 2020, but eventually.
And with Senator Jean Sheen of New Hampshire recently introducing the Women on the 20 Act in Congress, perhaps we really are one step closer to a shattering of the currency glass ceiling. Stay tuned on more updates for this legislation's progress. Well, that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us on Nats News. I'm Natalie Heinitz, and have a great evening.